Penguin Random House Audio presents Dapper Dan, Made in Harlem, by Daniel R. Day. Read for you by Omari Hardwick, with a prologue read by the author.
Prologue, Harlem, 1989. It was midnight like any other night at the store. The lights was on out front, the door unlocked, the grate rolled halfway up. Dapper Dan's boutique was open. My night crew of tailors was in the back filling orders, jackets, jumpsuits, parkas. Their sewing machines hummed into the wee hours. I was lying on my bed in my little apartment I built in the back for myself. Most nights you could find me there, rereading a book of philosophy or spirituality or trying to sneak in a nap. I had good reasons for never closing the shop and rarely leaving it. For one, a lot of my customers preferred late-night visits for privacy during the week and for the after-hours vibes of the weekends. I also had to keep my eye on my employees who were backdooring my designs. It was my name on the awning out front, and in my world, your name means everything. It was my reputation, my brand, and people came from all over the city and beyond, from Philly and Chicago, Houston and Miami, because they wanted a Dapper Dan. I was the store, and the store was me. We were open all day, every damn day for 9 years straight, and yet I couldn't really complain. After 3 decades of hustling in the street, it was my first legitimate hustle, and business was good, real good. That night I heard someone walk into the store and got myself out of bed. I closed the book, washed my face to wake up, and glanced into the mirror so I looked decent. I wasn't young anymore. I had a wife. I had grown kids and babies. With a deep breath, I put on my shop persona and emerged into the light. Standing in the store was a Puerto Rican drug dealer from the Bronx who had been in before. People call him Serge. I greeted him with a warm handshake and a shoulder clap, and we made small talk. "How's your night going? You watched the fight yesterday?" He was in a good mood. His good mood put me in a good mood. Before I ever made anything for a rapper or a basketball player, I catered mostly to gangsters and drug dealers, guys with real money in the community, guys like Serge. When I started out, I didn't know the first thing about selling clothes, let alone making them myself. Starting a custom clothing shop was by far the riskiest gamble of my life. And that's coming from someone who used to shoot dice with gangsters. The stock market had crashed, New York City was broke, but it had worked out somehow. My business was thriving because of the underworld. Sure, hip-hop had taken the popularity of my clothes to the next level, but early on, if it hadn't been for the hustlers, like Serge, I'd have been out on my ass. They made the boutique what it was. I saw the glimmer of his jewelry. I saw his clothes. I saw he was fly. I would soon see the big stack of money he was about to whip out his pocket. What I failed to see was the truck parked across the street, its lights off, waiting. "Listen," Serge said. "Got some beef uptown. I heard you got some new shit. What's good?" Hanging on a rack behind the register were a number of custom pieces waiting to be picked up. I showed them to Serge to whet his appetite. "This is a new Fendi lambskin jacket I made for Big Daddy Kane," I said casually, dropping names as I flipped through the rack. Finally, I came to a full-length parka I knew he was waiting to see. "This is that snorkel you heard about." I rapped my knuckles against the leather and it sounded back solid. Serge ran his hand along the printed Louis Vuitton logo on the front. "This shit is really bulletproof?" he asked, his eyes widening. "Go taste it on the roof right now," I said. "You got your gun?" He shook his head in awe. I could tell he was getting excited. "Can you make mine's Gucci?" he said, placing his hand on his minch section with 2 big-ass G's on the front. I hadn't even thought about that. Now I was getting excited. Yeah, I like that," I said as he pulled out this fat stack of cash, peeling off $3,000 worth of large bills like they were Kleenex.